Immediately I was in the spirit, and behold, a throne set in heaven, and one sat on the throne. First of all, people tend to read this and see it in just a physical sense, as in he saw the heavens open and then he was taken up in body and he saw everything in the physical. However, we see that first of all, is as if his third eye or the pineal gland was open so that he will be able to see the spiritual through images. Since the spiritual is invisible, the Almighty uses the imagination within the human mind in order to project images so that the person may understand what the invisible is. So here we see that the heaven open, which is pretty much an invitation for him to understand. And then it said, come up here and I will show you things which must take place after this. Immediately I was in the spirit. So there we see that he didn't go in the body, he was in the spirit. This was a spiritual revelation. Then it says, and behold, a throne set in heaven, and one sat on the throne. We read in Deuteronomy, and then Messiah confirmed it when somebody asked him what is the main commandment. Yahushua said, Yahweh is one, and you shall love Yahweh with all your heart, all your mind, and all your strength, and your neighbor as yourself, which is pretty much the second commandment that stems from the first, and those two are the fulfillment of the whole law and the prophets. Yahweh is one, as written in Deuteronomy. So the fact that it says a throne set in heaven and one sat on the throne, that makes reference to the Almighty. And he who sat there was like a jasper and a sardius stone in appearance, and there was a rainbow around the throne in appearance like an emerald. Here we see that there is a rainbow around the throne. If we go to Daniel chapter 7, in verse 9, I watched till thrones were put in place. This is when the 24 thrones were put in place. The 24 thrones for the 24 elders that John saw already sitting in Revelation. So when we compare Daniel to the book of Revelation, is as if Daniel and John were both taken to the same place to see pretty much the same revelation. However, Daniel was taken a little time before John got there. And I say that because Daniel saw when the thrones were put in place, and then John saw when there were already 24 people sitting on those thrones. So it says, I watched till thrones were put in place, and the Ancient of Days was seated. His garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head was like pure wool. His throne was a fiery flame, its wheels a burning fire. So what he saw around was fire, a flame. Then if we go to Ezekiel 1:26, and above the firmament over the heads was the likeness of a throne. So Ezekiel was seeing the vision of the honor of the Almighty as a king. And as we know, the heavens are his throne and the earth is his footstool. So the fact that he was seeing his footstool and his throne meant that he was seeing the earth, the creation itself. But that is in a nutshell what we see in this chapter. I'm just going to read this part. It says, and above the firmament over the heads was the likeness of a throne, in appearance like a sapphire stone, which is blue, just like the sky, which is connected to, the color of the firmament, as it said here, above the firmament. So it says, on the likeness of the throne was a likeness with the appearance of a man high above it. Also from the appearance of his waist and upward I saw as it were the color of amber, with the appearance of fire all around within it. And from the appearance of his waist and downward I saw as it were the appearance of fire, with brightness all around. Fire all around. The fact that he talks about fire when it comes to the honor, the throne, the splendor of the Almighty as King, is because it represents the second coming as the consuming fire, just like the first coming was as the water of life. So, since the favor, the forgiveness of sins came as the water of life, the justice, the vengeance comes as the consuming fire. And that is what the king does, in contrast to what the high priest already did in payment for the sins of the world. We see that is the consuming fire manifested as a man, pretty much, on the throne, representing the Almighty Creator, what Ezekiel is seeing. We saw Daniel seeing the throne and fire around. Now we see Ezekiel seeing the throne, and it says, the appearance of fire with brightness all around, like the appearance of a rainbow in a cloud on a rainy day. So it says fire all around like the appearance of a rainbow. Daniel saw fire around. And now we see John, who says, a throne set in heaven, and one sat on the throne, and he who sat there was like a jasper. Then it says, and there was a rainbow around the throne. So we see one verse that says that a rainbow was around the throne, then another one that says the fire was around the throne, and then one that says that there was a fire that looked like a rainbow. And what that means, or the main point regarding why those three are connected and how each of the prophets saw the same throne, yet they explained it in their own way, and even each of their ways is a prophetical sign, because in the sense of the rainbow, we know that that was the pact that the Almighty made with Noah and the people of his time, swearing that he would never destroy the earth with water again. But as he promised, and there was a clause in that pact, if the earth would turn away from righteousness, then the earth would be destroyed through fire. And that was prophesied that that would happen. He promised not to destroy the earth through water again. This time he would do it through fire. That's why water of life came to save, and now the fire comes to destroy, to punish, in the sense of those who are evil, but is coming also to test those who are believers, like the gold in fire.